Hey friends, so today we're going to do something really cool. Welcome to the email marketing show, but let's be honest here. I'm going to talk something a little bit deeper and very related, very important to email marketing, but this is the crown jewels. I'm kind of surprised I've decided to give this away, but so if I died tomorrow, this is what I would want the world of online marketing and offline marketing to know that I could share. Hey, look, the Trump mechanisms. Just kidding. What I would want to tell the world about marketing and basically how to run a successful campaign, roles and responsibilities, and um, what you need to, what elements you need to run a successful campaign, and where people get caught up and make mistakes. And this also kind of stands for if you're running an agency, like how do you fill roles, where do people belong, all that kind of stuff. So let me tell you a little bit of a story. So my agency has been around for 10 years now. Um, I should say our agency, not mine, our agency. And our team has been together off and on for quite a long, long time. But anyway, I think I'm just going to dive into something. So one year I was really lost, super lost, and I decided that I was going to take myself and drive, you know, out of town. I drove over an hour out of town, into the mountains, into a small town called Hope, British Columbia, very small town, and bought myself a $100 room for the night, spread papers all out on the floor, and dove into a marketing strategy for myself. I tried to figure out like what was I good at, what should I do. I was totally lost as to what my next move should be for my business. And it's funny, like I didn't get all the answers that I wanted, but I did come up with this formula where I realize where I made all my mistakes. And now, every single time things are going sideways, I come back to this and I realize where everything went wrong. So, let me kind of run through what that is. So, let me just show you here. So, in my opinion, this is what the elements of a perfect marketing campaign are. So, we have starting off with the market, which encompasses like who buys this, why they buy it, when they buy it, whether there's a market for something or not. You can't create demand. We all think we can, but in reality, there either is demand for something or there isn't. There's no in between. There's no inventing. Uh, it's very rare that you see a pet rock or some other novelty come out that people just have to have. And even then, those are disposable novelties. You don't really see um, big businesses last a long time based on one-off things like that. So anyway, that's that piece. Next piece is the product. Now, the product is the thing, the vehicle that meets the need or the demand of the thing that the market wants. Now, there's the pitch. The pitch is basically uh, how you sell or how you convey or how you deliver the message, how you word the message, the positioning. That's all that stuff right there. That's the sales process for the product. So the fourth place here is the place. Now, this can be a web page, an eBay listing. It could be, an Amazon listing. It could be your Shopify. It could be hosted on a third party. It could be Etsy. It could be anywhere. But the place that you host the pitch and the product to the market, that's what the place is. So, and the last piece is the broadcast mechanism. And there are tons of broadcast mechanisms to get your product to various types of prospects, whether it be completely unaware prospects or hyper aware prospects, prospects that have no clue and you have to use education based marketing, or prospects that know about the product and all you have to do is get in front of them, wave a flag, and they'll know exactly what it is you have, and they know they want it already, and they'll buy it. So that's not what today's thing is all about. Let's talk about roles within an agency. So I'm going to switch over to this here just to kind of make it a little bit clearer to understand what these elements are and how they work. There are people who are amazing researchers. These are details people. These are psychology majors. They are people who can figure out the need of a marketplace just by looking at search volume, by looking at forums and groups. There are people who can look in, can watch conversations with prospects and instantly get, that's it. People need this thing. Okay. The second part is the solution. Now, the solution is something that perfectly or very close to or partially meets the need that the marketplace has. There are people who are amazing at coming up with products. They can be engineers, they could be consultants, they can be all kinds. It depends obviously whether it's a product or a service, but the point is there are certain people who are amazing at coming up with the package, the solution. But they're not always great salespeople. I mean, look at Joni Ivey at Apple there, who can design amazing iPhones, but he's not necessarily a salesman. Then comes the pitch part. Okay, so now there are people who are amazing salespeople, but they're not so good at figuring out whether there's actually demand for something. They'll just go out and try and sell it, and if they can't sell it, they give up. They're also not great engineers. They're not going to create the product. They're far too creative, and they're certainly not going to do market research. Then you've got the place itself. So the place is created by web designers. It's created by, it could also just be, like I said, an Amazon and eBay listing, or an Etsy listing, or something like that. But the point is that the place where you put your copy, so to speak, it doesn't have to be super fancy as long as it communicates the elements. But there are people who are amazing web designers, they're amazing experienced landing page designers, etc., but they suck at all the other things. And then you have the last piece, which is the broadcast mechanism. Now, a lot of people, I screwed that up. A lot of people start right here at the broadcast mechanism, and they think to themselves, that this is all they need. They've got the broadcast mechanism here, and they think, well, I've come up with a product, I'm going to go straight to broadcast. When you go from product to broadcast, can you imagine what goes wrong? Well, first of all, you haven't done any market research. Secondly, you haven't really crafted the pitch and the positioning and all that other kind of crap. You just go straight here, you're going to screw stuff up left, right, and center. Not only that, but if you have somebody on board who's an amazing researcher, or somebody who is on board who's an amazing pitchman, running the broadcast, it's not going to go over well. Likewise, if you have somebody who's amazing at the broadcast, and you're like, hey, can you put a market strategy together for me? And they're like, I get the clicks. And you're like, can you please put a marketing strategy together? No, I really know how to do this really well. And I'd really like to focus on this. I know which angles to play, I know which tools to install, I know which metrics to watch. But hey, what do you think of my product? I'll have to test it. Well, what do you think of my pitch? I'll have to test it. Long story short, I'm not going to belabor the point, but the fact is that there are some people who are hyper creative types who really should be in the art of selling or the art of design in the web page creation. The analytical types would probably be better off doing the market research, I should say, and the broadcast, looking at the markets, testing the markets, and that's it. And the product designers are best left to engineers or consultants, depending on whether it's whether it's a services or goods product. But either way, all these people need to work together. In an entrepreneur space, a lot of times people try to do this themselves. There are rare unicorns that have managed to somehow clumsily do all these things, but there's no way they could have ever done all of these things well. There's no way. There's some area where they're failing, where if they brought somebody in to write a better pitch, or to do better research, or to broadcast better, they would get better results. I believe there's no such thing as a unicorn that can do all of these things. There's no way. But anyways, I just wanted to have this rant. Thank you for listening with me. But somewhere you're probably struggling with this, and I'll tell you, there's a couple of these places that where I can help. But I am fortunate today to have a team where, we have a guy who focuses 100% on the design stuff. We have a lady who's an amazing broadcast person. I like to play in the pitch world. I also have researchers, and we obviously don't create products. But yeah, so that's it for today. Just wanted to kind of drop that knowledge bomb on you and just say this is kind of take a look and see where maybe somewhere in here you might have either forgotten a step or you're just not doing a great job of one of these steps, and and consider what you could do to fix that.